Hi, we're live. I noticed that on when I got my email from Patreon, it was like, you're about to go live. And that was at like 7 a.m. I'm like,
I think
live,
we
but
have the
thank
wrong time. In what time zone are we going on live?
yeah. Let me see. Let me make sure we're live over here, which it looks like we are. There we are. Okay. So we were just discussing so tell me what you're so do you think that we are talking about the sheriff, and Denise was like,
Yeah.
listen, because Denise is in Arizona, she's like, that's just going to take us down a rabbit hole that just diverts us from the case. So when I said corrupt, do you think that that was just in general, yes, it's corrupt and it may not have anything to do with this case, but
Yes.
that type of
'Cause-
thing?
Yes, because I think he's been questioned around his ethics for a while.
uh
And I just think then that would distract from the case with Nancy's case.
mhm.
Because does his lack of integrity have anything to do with her case? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. And yeah, we were talking about just I think we had a lot of really good questions. I think a
Hmm.
lot for honestly, Denise, I feel like there was a lot that I wanted to say. I feel like if I had been in private and not live, we could have really honed in and found out what was going on. But something kept blocking that, and just like, stay out of it. Don't
Yeah.
go let that, like, and they kept mentioning Epstein, and it's like, I'm sure, like, I don't know, but fuck, it's
Yeah,
like,
that's got some, like you said, far-reaching tentacles on that one. And so it's just, and we've got, yeah, with this type of a case and this high profile of a case, you have to be careful that you don't distract from the task at hand, which is
mm,
finding Nancy. Where,
yeah.
is there a possibility? Because yes, you know, those files needed to be released, and we have to be careful that they don't desensitize us from what is actually going on
Mm,
around us, right? So we have
yeah.
to pay attention to how and where we absorb, consume that information, and how
Mhm.
much, so that we don't become desensitized to what's going on around us. I was actually having a conversation with a friend earlier about that, and we're subject to so much more negativity that we
Mhm.
don't realize it. And I know this is going to sound terrible, but there's so much that comes at us on a day-to-day basis that,
Mhm.
now you see somebody get shot on the news, and you're like, oh, well, that sucks. You know what
Yep.
I mean? And
Mhm.
it's like, and of course, that sounds so insensitive, and yet at the same time, it's becoming so rampant that we see these
Mhm.
things on television. You didn't even used to see people getting killed in the movies. You know what I mean?
Right.
It
Right.
was a gun and then they were gone. You didn't
Right.
actually
Right.
occur. And now you're seeing these things transpire in real life. Kids have video games and adults do too. I mean, I shouldn't say kids. People that play video games, they've got all of these different things. And so we've just become so neutral towards a lot of
Mhm.
these things that really we shouldn't be neutral to. They really
Right.
still upset us.
Right. Dude, that is like, it's so true, man. It's so true. And I think too, even with like these cases, like, not sensationalizing these cases and just remembering these are real people. People are stuff like, listen, like, because what I wanted to say too was like, these are people with rich people problems that maybe we can't relate to, right? Where Savannah's cleaning up someone's mess,
Right.
and brother-in-law's messy and he does stupid shit and she's got to clean it up. And that's been going on for a while. And they're going through the motions and doing that again. And all of a sudden it's like not turning out the way it was supposed to. And now it's just unraveling, like we said.
Right.
And
And
it's,
yeah, I feel like one of the things that kind of happened there, this is why I didn't say this on the live, because I don't want to, be saying things that but it's almost like you said, she's been cleaning up the mess for decades, if you will.
Mhm.
And now the person that she's been cleaning up the mess for, it's almost like they were like, well, if she would just give us this much more money, then we wouldn't have this
Mhm.
problem and then she wouldn't have
Mhm.
to fix anything. And the
Mhm.
reality of it is that she would still have to fix things because they haven't learned anything.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
right. And
Mhm.
but this like again, I'm just picking up numbers, but if it's always cost her 100 grand to fix the problem, if she would just give us the five, if we can extort
Mhm.
400 more, then we'll be fine.
We'll be fine. Yeah, it's so
Right.
true. Yeah.
But at the
Mhm.
same time, you know, they're not fine because
Mhm.
this has been more than once that this has occurred,
Right.
you know,
100%.
her cleaning up
Mhm.
the mess.
Yeah. Yeah. And that also, I thought the most revealing like comment was she was acting more, what was the word that was it, spirit,
Panicked than
more
worried.
panicked than worried. And I thought that was really, really interesting.
And
Such
the
an
panic,
interesting observation.
right. And the panic could be because she has fixed this problem before and she
Mhm.
doesn't want people to know, people meaning the public,
Mhm.
because we live in such a cancel culture era now
Mhm.
that if they find that if her audience finds that she's been cleaning up a mess, so to speak,
Mhm.
for all of these years, that might get her canceled in regard to being on the Today Show moving forward
Mhm.
because they don't, I don't agree with what she did there, blah blah blah, or whatever the case might be. So
Well, and
it's
I did see some like news headline that said, or someone said she's stepping down, like she might be stepping, that she won't be returning to the Today Show. And it's like, it almost makes you wonder, like, obviously, like if that's true, then obviously there's stuff related that's
mhm.
going to affect there's like you know what I'm saying, like there's
Right,
because a lot of, for most people who do a job that they love, there's this escape you have of just being able to not worry about their life and just going and living your, like, doing a job you love and forgetting about the chaos behind you. But if your
right,
job is not that anymore and your job is what caused this chaos, that job does not feel safe or like an escape or fun or any of those
right.
things.
Well, and it's kind of goes back to the viewer on the YouTube live where, I think it was Cece Rose Petals where she was saying that this is going to change the trajectory of
Mhm.
Savannah's life. And I think it's going to give her a lot more time to consider how she wants to live her life
Yes.
moving
Yeah.
forward. And not that she was living her life poorly. I don't mean that because
I agree.
nobody,
I don't think
you know, but I think she could have been, maybe perhaps a little bit more available.
yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And when you get into the level of news anchor that she was, you have to be available. I mean, if you're going on at 9 o'clock in the morning, you're probably getting to work at 3 or 4 in the morning. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like
Mhm.
because there's hair, there's makeup, there's all of the stuff that goes
Mhm.
along with that. And I've not been involved in that world, but I've watched enough television shows at one point that you see those things, right? So you're kind of like, oh, yeah, that takes a while to get that together.
That does take a while. That's very true.
You know,
I don't know about you, but my ass is kicked from that.
yeah, I'm tired. That was
I'm
a
tired. I'd like to keep talking as much as I love you guys, but my ass is kicked and your ass has got to be kicked. We did our post show wrap up before that
right.
for Jason at 5. Then at 6 for an hour, almost an hour and a half, we did Savannah. And you have to work in the morning. And
I do.
all right, so we're out. Thank you very
But
much for the
thank you
support,
so
as
much,
always.
everyone, for being here. We really appreciate it.
Yes, and the support. And we will be back. Tomorrow night's got Beyond the Huntings. Otherwise, we'll see you Thursday for our YouTube live and our live show wrap up after that. Good night,
Yeah.
y'all.
Good night.